I'm feeling really good. I feel like the vibes are really good this fight week. My energy's really good, and I don't know. I just got a good feeling. I went through the turbulence during fight camp, but now I'm feeling awesome.
I mean, you're trying to bounce back from a loss. Both of you guys are. What do you feel like you learned most from that last bout?
I just gained more experience. Felipe, styles make fights, and it really showed that I can't just go in there and brawl with people. I can't just walk you down. I gotta be moving my head. I gotta be setting things up. I can't look for the power shots, and I gotta implement my wrestling. I'm a better wrestler than I showed in that last fight, and I think part of that is just sometimes being the first to wrestle. So I learned a lot from that fight, and I'm excited to be back in there.
Do you feel like that's going to be a point of emphasis going into this one to really try to jump the ground game and get your hands on them and get them taken down as quick as possible, or be more methodical and just pick them apart?
I think that everything's going to come into play. I think that when I've seen his past fights, when he starts to get pieced up, he almost always starts to wrestle. So I think that I need to be prepared for that. I also want to be the wrestler of the fight, but I want to mix. I just want to mix everything up. I don't want to look. I'm trying to really set aside my ego and stop looking for that big knockout. Stop looking for that moment and just let it come. So I don't want to throw with power in there. I just want to throw clean, nice shots. Find my shots, and I believe that when the time comes, it'll come.
Being the very young vet that you are, he's coming in as a young 25-year-old who just lost his perfect record. With that being said, you had mentioned, he likes to resort to grappling when he gets hit pretty hard. What are your expectations from him going into this fight?
He's young and he still has a lot of time to grow, but if you watch his fights throughout his career, they're all very, very similar. He throws in combos. He has his Muay Thai combos. He throws his 2-3, throws that nasty leg kick after almost every single one. When his opponent starts to back up to the cage, he adds in his wrestling. They're just all very, very similar. He has a nice jab. So I know that he's young and that he has time to develop and learn from that last fight. But all his fights have been the same throughout his same career. So I expect the same Gene, and I know that he's tough. The kid has a lot of heart, and he's a fighter. He's a warrior. So I don't expect him to go anywhere easy. But I do believe that my skill set is better than his. And I know he's coming off of his first loss and looked good against Rob, but he just ran into a problem right here.
Do you feel like, all right, I got to teach you this lesson again kind of thing? Or do you feel like, he's got a lot, his hands tied with this one? Got a lot.
I feel like he thinks he won that last fight too much. I feel like he thinks almost like he was robbed in that fight and he's deserving of something. And this game doesn't owe anybody anything. Winning doesn't owe anybody anything. Not me, not him, not anybody. So I do feel like maybe he's coming in high still, like, oh, I lost, but I still kind of won. I'm the best. I could be undefeated. And I do think there's going to be a lesson here to learn that, you're not going to jump the line. You came in short notice, had a good performance, but now you're back in there. It's not like he's been out there finishing these guys. Look at him and Brad Katona. Close, competitive fight. Yeah, he won the fight, but close, competitive fight. Look at him and Dan Argueta. He was getting dog walked the whole time, and then he landed that guillotine. Nice guillotine. Kid has skill. But at the same time, it's not like he's just going out there and taking these dudes out, He's not like a Gene Silva. He's Jean Matsumoto. So we're going to see.
What excites you most then about this?
Most thing that excites me about this is that he will oblige. I think our styles together really set a fun fight. I remember when I was fighting Felipe. Felipe's more of he throws some wild things, but he stays away. He's not going to oblige in the brawl, or he's not going to oblige in throwing combo for combo. I was calling him in there the whole time. I was like, come on, come on. And his coach, I could hear him, don't listen to him, Felipe, don't listen to him. And but Gene is different. I think Gene comes forward, and that's kind of what Gene knows. So I think that's going to be really fun. He likes to throw, block, crack back. I like to throw, block, crack back. So, and he also takes a lot more damage. When you look at the statistics and you look at how much damage he actually takes per fight, every single fight he's getting hit. And maybe those repercussions aren't that bad against these other guys, but you can't go in there getting hit by me like that. So that excites me.
This is going to be an exciting, explosive fight. With that being said, is your family going to fly out here Saturday, or are they going to stay in KC?
My wife is going to come out. She comes out tomorrow, but the boys are going to stay back with my in-laws. Thank God for them. They're always there. They're always there for us. So all the boys will stay back and they get to watch on TV, but the wife will be out here with me.
Did they tell you anything before you left?
It's more like I tell them, they get a little nervous, they get a little worried, they want me to win, they don't want me to get hurt, and I just let them all know, like, we don't control the outcome. God controls the outcome. We just control our effort. That's it. Like, this is the path for me. I'm on the right path. I know that I am, and we just got to believe in that. I'm doing the work and just trust in that, boys. There's nothing to fear. When God is with us, there's absolutely nothing to fear.
With that being said, taking a look back at home, how's the ranch been?
It's been good. Things have been good. The boys are growing. I'm loving life, and I know that they're ready for me to be done with fight camp, so I can get back to some normal dad mode because I'm a little bit different in fight camp.
Did you always grow up on a ranch, or is that something just relatively new within the last few years?
No, it's actually my in-laws' ranch. So we go out. Yeah, we go out there. We've stayed out there for months at a time. But I actually just have a house in Kansas City, closer to the gym, and my in-laws have the ranch.
And I wanted to ask as well, I know you got the Fighters First Chapo shirts and hoodies and all that. How's that been going?
It's been going good. They're a really good company. They make it easy for me. I don't have to buy bulk and sell T-shirts like I'm selling tickets. I can just give people the link, and they just get online and order it. So it's a pretty good deal. So if anybody wants to get merch, Fighters First, the Chapo collection's out.
There you go. And last thing for me, Contender Series starts next week, and being an alum for you, when you take a look at what it takes to come out of that not only unscathed, but then also to prove that you belong to be in the UFC, earn that contract. How special is it to be considered an alum from there?
It is. It's special. I'm happy to always tell people I came from Contender Series, and people who don't know me, they're like, how'd you get in the UFC? And when I tell them, they always have some respect for that. So it's a fun journey. Jean came from the same journey. I actually watched his fight on the Contender Series live because my boy Stephen Wynn was fighting that same night. And he got his contract that night. So it's a cool experience. I feel like I've really been through the process, LFA champ, Contender Series, through the UFC. So yeah, I'm happy to have that under my belt.
Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Going along that, I just want to ask, how was that night? I know your boy Steven was trying for a long time. He'd been turned down even despite winning as well. So how was it to finally see him get awarded that night his contract?
It was good, man. Steven's been in the game for a long time. I remember when I started as an amateur fighter, I was 1-0, and I was kind of like, I knocked my guy out in 13 seconds. So I had a little bit of juice around on me in Wichita, Kansas area. And whenever I'd be talking to my boys about, like, I'm going to be in the UFC, man, I'm gonna be one of the best, they'd be like, oh, you can't beat my boy Steven, though. He's 9-0. So I know that, like, he was already 9-0 when I was 1-0. So I know that he's been in the game. He's dedicated his life to this for a long time. So to see him get that, it felt good. I'm happy for him.
What'd you make of his last performance? I know there's a lot of talk online of the stoppage and whatnot and everything he did to his opponent. What'd you make of his last fight?
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. When I was watching that right after practice, jumping rope, turned it on and had my speaker on, and I was so happy to see him get his moment, man. It's awesome. Anytime you get to make history, man, most knockouts in the UFC, the most knockdowns in the UFC, that's awesome, man. I was happy for him.
And I know people are aware of what you bring to the table and you're well respected, but I feel like, perhaps maybe they sleep on you a bit sometimes. So do you think after this weekend all goes well for you? I know Jean is still held in high regards as a prospect. Do you think after this weekend some more people will start finally giving you the respect you deserve?
Maybe. We'll see. I thought the same thing with Mario Bautista, and they're still not giving him the respect that he deserves. So I don't know. Sometimes it happens like that. But I have had my moments in the UFC. I've grown up in this organization, and I had a hard time throughout my outside life while I was here during my career. So some of those losses, the John Castaneda loss, even the Bautista loss, I lost those fights before I even made it to the octagon. So people don't realize that. So I can see how when they see me fight John Castaneda and they saw that performance, they can be like, we're not so sure about Chapo. I'm not so sure. But I think after I get this win, I will get a lot more respect on my name. And I do think people sleep on me. The odds makers, I don't know what they're doing right now, but somebody's gonna make some good money Saturday night.
Sure. And then last one for me. I know your last one was in an arena in Florida, but we're used to seeing you out here primarily. So is there any part of you that just wants to go back to the arena shows mainly, or just does that not matter to you at all?
When I walked out my last fight, the energy was insane. I missed the crowd. I missed it, so I would love to go back to arena, but this feels like a home game. I'm so used to being in the Apex, so used to being in Vegas. I'm staying at an Airbnb very close to one that I stayed at before. It just all feels like normal and natural, so it feels like a home game. But after I get this dub, I'd love to go back to arena.
So would you say that home game feel outweighs that, or you still, or would you rather much? I know you just said you want to go back to arena, but
I mean, I like a good mix. Next one, if it could be an arena with the crowd, I would love that.
What's the dream arena? Which one's Madison Square, T-Mobile? What's the one that, like, give me the top three that you're like, this is where I would
Man,
rock at.
I guess if we were here in Vegas and it was at T-Mobile Arena, that would be sick. But I don't know. I want to travel. When I was in Tampa, me and my wife were like walking the river walk and stuff, and people would come up like, "Oh, Chapo, like, I can't wait to watch you fight." Like some kid came there for his 21st birthday, and he's like, "Man, I just can't wait to. I like you and Felipe. I just can't wait to watch you guys fight." And I just love that dude. Like that just it instills that gratitude that I need to just not make so much of this, like I'm just grateful to be here. I'm happy to put on shows for people. The kid liked me and Felipe. I don't think he really cared who won, and it's just like, that's what we're here for. We're here to entertain the fans and here to be, be an inspiration and be somebody that these guys can like get excited about. So, yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And you know what, like, you touched on something that's real special, how these fans get younger and younger.
Yeah.
Just be recognizing you. Give me like a fun story of someone who just caught you at the mall or at a cookout or somewhere to where you're like, wow, he knows who I am. That's kind of crazy.
That happens a lot more when you go on the road and you're at those live shows. Like it was like when I was in Tampa, I got stopped in the airport like 3 times. I got stopped out in the city like 6, 8 times, and that never happens that much, And it was young guys like, man, I can't wait to see you fight, bro. Can we take a picture of this? And I really appreciate that because I wanna be here for those guys, and I wanna, like, that kid spent all his money for his 21st birthday to come watch us fight. That means something to me, and I want to go out there and I want to give him I want to make that 21st birthday memorable for him.
That's so dope, man. What's the most memorable thing you've signed besides some MMA gloves, of course, or a poster? What have you put that name on, that the Miles name on?
I've signed, a lot of people send me fan mail, so I always appreciate signing that stuff and sending it back. I got 2 that I need to get done this week, actually. But I think the most memorable thing to me has been after the Argueta fight when I talked about my wife's brother passing due to mental illness, and so many people hit me up and just like, hey, man, that was inspiration for me. It moved me a little bit, and it helped me through my journey through depression or mental illness. That stuff is like what touches me the most. Like that's what matters. Like can you affect anybody's life and make them just a little bit happier to be here, make their struggle a little bit less? Like that's definitely been the most meaningful to me.
That's huge, man. You don't know you have this platform until, I mean, I know you're aware of it, but how massive it is, how wide it is until someone reminds you. Last one for me, just for fun. What's the jersey about? What's going on? In case they didn't ask you already, what's the 444 or what's that?
Oh yeah, it's just kind of a fashion just kind of thing, but 444 is just kind of like you're on your path, like you're it's just kind of more like a good luck number, and like reaching your destination and on the path for you.